What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rebel here, and for today's episode, the sniper rifles in Modern Warfare. Let's rank them.
On your feet, soldier! We are leaving!
So how we all doing? Hope we're all having a wonderful day today. So for today's episode, the sniper rifles in Modern Warfare. These aren't like the sniper rifles in the older game. Now I remember a time back around Black Ops 1 where David Vonderhaar was receiving a lot of death threats because he kind of butchered quickscoping and made it non-feasible, and the whole sniper community got really upset with him. These snipers, the sniper rifle class in Modern Warfare, is not a quickscoping class, really. I mean, there are some, you can make some of the snipers pretty fast, but this is not designed, these are not designed to be quickscoping snipers, especially not with the really slow ADS speed compared to the really fast time to kill of the game. Now, if you are a quickscoper, fear not, they do have the marksman rifle class, which, I mean, as much as I miss when quickscoping, running the marksman rifle class actually seems to make more sense to me, as I tend to do just as good. The sniper rifles in this game are really meant to be lane holders. They're lane coverers. They're really meant for you to cover a lane and not let anybody through. They are more designed for medium to long range, and if you get into close quarters combat, you're gonna lose to basically every single gun that's meant to be used for medium to close range. Now, this doesn't make the sniper rifles in Modern Warfare bad, not by any means. They're still a completely feasible class to use, and one of the more fun classes to use in my opinion, even though I'm not that good at sniping. And honestly, being how similar all of these sniper rifles are to each other, with the exception of one of the three, there's only three, ranking them was actually kind of difficult. But regardless, I did it, and I'm sure I'm gonna be completely wrong when I do this, but hey, that's just me. So coming in at number 3, we have the Dragunov. Now everyone refers to this as a trash sniper, and I used to, but I was trying to find a way to rank it second, honestly, but I really couldn't. When it comes down to it, this is the worst gun in the sniper rifle class, but that does not by any means make this a bad sniper rifle. Now the Dragunov is a semi-auto, which means it's not bolt action, so just keep hitting the trigger and you'll keep getting shots off. Not that fast, but it's okay. This is basically the fastest, yet also the weakest sniper rifle that you can choose. It is niche. It does have a niche kind of design to it, being that it's semi-auto and a lot weaker, and it just makes it not as good as the AX50 or the HDR. But due to the semi-auto nature of this gun, you can kill more enemies faster than you can with the HDR or the AX50. All it requires is a ridiculous amount of accuracy to make sure you're hitting the one-shot kill zone, which I believe would be maybe the upper stomach, maybe just pectorals and up, neck, head, not the arms. So it is a lot harder to hit your shots. But if you are able to get double and triple kills with this thing, it is incredibly satisfying. Hitting that first shot and seeing multiple targets behind him and just keep spamming R2 and you drop 2 or 3 dudes, it's a great feeling, and you finally realize what this gun's strength is. The only downside is you need a a ton of accuracy to make it a feasible choice. Basically, when I'm using this gun, I notice that I'm getting so many hit markers, yet at the same time, this thing has so much potential. It just requires you to be really good and have a lot of patience. Coming in at number 2, and this is where it started to get tough for me, the HDR. I can already hear the people like, what the hell is Rebel talking about right now? This doesn't make any sense. Yes, I am ranking the HDR at number 2. The HDR is the slowest yet most powerful sniper rifle in Modern Warfare. This thing will always be a one-shot unless you are shooting through cover. Now, I could be wrong, and leg shots and foot shots could be a 2-shot kill. They could only do 90 damage or whatever, not a full kill. But I was rarely getting hit markers with this thing. The only time I was actually getting hit markers was when I was shooting through cover. If I break this down, this thing is just so powerful and so consistent. This is the quintessential sniper rifle. It's nice and slow, but it's nice and powerful. And if you're using the HDR, I would recommend it for lane coverage or for medium to long range lanes, or ground war, because this thing has a really long distance and the bullet velocity, the bullet drop is almost non-existent. This is the best thing to get long shots in ground war with. However, this really all comes down to how you decide to use the HDR. This thing, if you deck it out with the right attachments, it can play to its strengths even better. With an increase to range You can somewhat help the ADS speed just a little bit. You can make this thing stronger and better at what it is intended to do. But besides that, you can't turn it into a quick scoping rifle. This thing will always be slow, or you'll be running around with like a 3x zoom scope on it and be having a miserable time doing so. Yeah, when it comes down to the attachments, it has basically no attachments, but the crazy thing is it has actually less attachments that can actually change the way this gun plays than the gun that comes in the #1 spot, and that's going to be the AX50. Now I know what you're saying. I got them backwards. I messed them up. The HDR is #1, the AX50 is #2. Hear me out. The AX50 is the quick scoping sniper rifle. This thing is a one-shot kill to anything above the waist. Unless you're at a really long distance, then you might be getting 2 shots when you think you're hitting the upper torso. If I were to describe the way this gun plays, it's faster, it's a little bit weaker than the HDR, just slightly, and it's a lot more wiggly than the HDR. But because of all of that, this is the perfect sniper rifle for mobile sniping on 6v6 maps. And if that's what you're trying to do, to move around a little bit, reposition yourself constantly on smaller, more medium-sized maps, the AX50 is the way to go. Now, with the attachments on this thing, you can make this thing even faster for ADS speed. This gun actually allows you to put the stippled grip tape on it, unlike the HDR, meaning that even though it's already got a faster base ADS speed, you can make it even faster with all the attachments on it. However, it can also be kitted to help with distance and aiming stability without butchering the ADS speed. And honestly, that's exactly how I use this thing. With the combination of attachments I put on the AX50, I had kept the base ADS speed, added range, and added aiming stability to where I was getting less hit markers at longer distances, I was less wiggly for the medium to long range distances, and I was aiming down sight at the same exact speed that I was before, even though I had the variable zoom scope on it. And with that, I was able to use this thing at a slightly longer distance than its base form, have it be as fast as its base form, and have it be more accurate than its base form, which really makes it compete a lot with the HDR, except you have the mobility factor still on the side of the AX50. Now, the one caveat to this is you do not test distances. You play to your strengths. Use it at medium distances, and you will not be seeing any bullet drop or getting many hit markers with it, provided you are not aiming below the waist. Aim above the waist, have the added distance. Those medium range encounters are going to be absolutely no issue for you. Plus, you're going to have what feels like an increased aim assist. Plus, you're going to have what feels like an increased aim assist. Plus, the aiming stability is going to be on par with the HDR, and you're going to have a faster weapon than the HDR. Now, sure, you could try to kit out the HDR for speed, but then you're going to be losing the strengths of the HDR along the way. You're going to be taking away from what the HDR is, and with the AX50, you can add to it without taking away from what it is, and that is why I think the AX50 is the best sniper rifle in the game. Not to mention, I got this amazing gameplay with it. So, I mean, that kind of put the nail in the coffin. I called in like 3 VTOLs. I don't know. I think it was like 4 days ago. I called in like 3 VTOLs, and I was like, the HD who? The HD what now? So yeah, basically with the AX50, don't test the distance, aim above the waist, and this thing is gonna be better than the HDR. That's all that it comes down to. But I wanna know what you think. I wanna know, do you agree, and do you think that the Dragunov is the worst sniper? Should I have done marksman rifles and sniper rifles? Should I do every weapon ranked and rank every single weapon, comparing them to each other? So comparing sniper rifles to assault rifles, I have no idea. The possibilities I have now that I've gotten Damascus are endless. I mean, I still have 5 guns to get Damascus with. The Ram, the Holger, the crossbow, the Striker, and the Grau. I've gotten Kimbo with all of the pistols. I still gotta get the Uzi conversion kit. Might make a video on that. Let me know if you have any ideas, because I've done what I wanted to do. I've accomplished my goal. Now I just want to give you guys what you want. So let me know what you want, so I can give it to you. Smash that like button, hit that sub button, gently click that notification bell, all of that other wonderful good stuff. Huh. And until next time.